She left 2 days after the birth. No note, no calls, just disappeared like the baby was a rental. I raised our son alone, while she popped bottles in Bali and curated her healing journey. But then she resurfaced, not to parent, but to rebrand as a single mom boss. I'm Matt, 31, former graphic designer, now full-time dad, part-time coffee zombie. I didn't plan to become a single parent. Hell, I didn't even plan to be a parent this soon. Let's rewind to the glamorous moment when my life imploded, in the sterile, fluorescent-lit delivery room of St. Michael's. Now, don't get it twisted. I wasn't one of those guys who begged their girlfriend to have a baby because they were ready to settle down and buy matching aprons. Nope. The pregnancy was an accident. A very loud, very crying accident. But once I wrapped my head around it, I was all in. Baby books, parenting classes, panic attacks, the full package. Chloe, on the other hand, was more into Instagram mood boards and manifesting gentle motherhood vibes. She talked a lot about being a sacred feminine vessel, but her eyes glazed over any time a diaper commercial came on. I should have seen the signs. She never bought baby stuff, never read anything besides astrology memes, and once asked if breastfeeding would ruin her personal brand. Yeah, that should have been my clue. Labor was fast. Too fast. Like her whole body decided, let's just get this over with. Baby came out healthy, thank God, and I cried like a damn idiot while Chloe looked at the nurse like she was bored waiting for a smoothie. The nurse handed her the baby, and Chloe held him like someone had passed her a wet gym towel. No connection, no smile, just holding. She said she was tired. Fair. Birth is rough. She said she needed space. Also fair. Hospitals are in chaos. So when she asked if I could sleep at home that night so she could mentally decompress, I didn't push back. I kissed my kid, kissed her forehead, and told her I'd be back bright and early. When I got there the next morning, her bed was empty. No Chloe. Just a nurse with a confused expression and a clipboard saying, she checked out around 3 a.m. Without the baby. Let that sink in. She left. Without the baby. Apparently, she walked right out of the building wearing hospital socks and an Uber hoodie. Didn't sign anything. Didn't leave a note. Not even a text. Just gone. I went full panic mode. I called her. Straight to voicemail. Texted. Nothing. Called her best friend. Radio silence. I even reached out to her snake pit of a mother, who said, and I quote, well, maybe this is what you need to grow up. I swear to God, if sarcasm could kill, she'd have dropped dead on the spot. So, I stayed at the hospital alone with a newborn whose name we hadn't even agreed on. I signed every paper, took every class, held him during every scream-filled diaper change. When they finally let us leave, I strapped him into a borrowed car seat and drove home like I was carrying a ticking bomb in the back seat. The first week was hell. I didn't sleep. I barely ate. I cried in the shower like a cliché, wondering what the hell I'd done to deserve this solo nightmare. But then, somewhere between the sleepless nights and projectile poop incidents, I started to figure it out. He started to look at me, really look at me, and something inside me clicked. I wasn't just some guy who got abandoned. I was a dad, and he needed me. I named him Max. I had to text Chloe to tell her. Still no reply. Her Instagram was still active. I checked like an idiot. No baby. No updates. Just beach pics, smoothie bowls, and vague captions about transcending low-vibe frequencies. Yeah, okay, Gandhi. Real spiritual of you to dump your newborn and ghost the guy raising him. I went full dad mode. Learned to swaddle with one hand. Mastered the art of napping with one eye open. Max had colic for 2 months and I thought I might actually die, but we survived. I started freelancing again during his naps, just enough to afford wipes that didn't feel like sandpaper. My parents stepped up big time, even though they were shocked to find out I was raising a baby solo. Chloe's family? Ghosts. Her sister texted me once asking if Chloe was, like, okay, and then never followed up. And yet, weirdly, life started to stabilize. Max started sleeping more. I figured out his favorite lullaby. It was not Twinkle Twinkle, it was my off-key rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody, because my kid has taste. We had routines. We had inside jokes. I fell in love with this tiny, squishy human who had no idea his mom had pieced out to find herself. But don't worry. She comes back. Just not for the reasons you'd hope. About 8 months after she vanished, Chloe's account suddenly lit up with a new look. Gone were the smoothie bowls and yoga mats. Now it was full-on mommy content. Baby quotes, pastel fonts, captions like, just me and my boy against the world. My boy. Excuse me? She had the nerve to post a stock photo of a baby crib with the caption, being a single mom isn't easy, but he's worth it. No name, no face, no proof. Just clout-chasing lies and a sea of thirsty followers saying things like, you're so strong, and he's lucky to have you. I stared at that post for a long time, trying to decide if I was hallucinating from lack of sleep. But nope. She was actually out here claiming to be a single mother after literally abandoning her baby at a hospital like she forgot her jacket at a party. At first, I let it slide. I figured she'd burn out and disappear again. But then came the DM requests, the emails, people asking me, "Are you and Chloe co-parenting now?" Her followers had found my old art page. Apparently, Chloe mentioned me in a now-deleted post, calling me toxic and unready for fatherhood. It was like someone took a match and lit my spine on fire. Because I was the one up at 2 a.m. with a sick kid. I was the one with formula-stained shirts and a fridge full of pureed peas. And she was getting likes for doing nothing? That's when I started saving everything. Screenshots, stories, comments, DMs. I didn't know what I'd do with them yet, but my gut said she wasn't done being a problem. And spoiler, I was right. Because soon enough, she showed up again. This time with fake tears, a film crew, and a very fake story. But we'll get there. Trust me, I was just warming up. Let's talk about what it's like being a dad when your baby mama's out living her soft girl era on the internet. It's surreal. Like, here I am elbows deep in baby wipes, running on 2 hours of sleep and a protein bar I found in the glove compartment, while she's out there posting filtered selfies with captions like, "Motherhood is the purest love." Bitch, you haven't changed a diaper in your life. The only thing you've nurtured lately is your follower count. I blocked her. Everywhere. I muted her account, deleted her number, shut every door that connected our lives. But blocking someone doesn't erase their bullshit, especially when it starts spilling into your inbox. It started small. A couple random DMs from strangers, mostly women, saying things like, "It's amazing what Chloe's overcome," or "Co-parenting is so beautiful. Thank you for supporting her." Huh, supporting her? The woman who left me with a hospital bracelet and a screaming infant? Then the emails came. Some fashion company emailed me saying they saw the feature and wanted to know if I'd be open to a joint interview about our parenting journey. That's when I learned Chloe had done an article, or rather, sold an article, to some mid-tier lifestyle blog about raising a child alone. They even ran a photo of her holding someone else's baby, like this was a goddamn Pampers commercial. She told the world she was raising Max by herself, that the father was emotionally unavailable and financially unstable. And people believed her. Why? Because she cried on camera and had decent lighting. I wanted to scream. I wanted to go full scorched earth. But I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I focused on Max. Because while she was out getting sympathy comments and free makeup kits, I was busy figuring out how to potty train a toddler who thought flushing the toilet was a game show buzzer. We moved into a smaller apartment to save money. I picked up more freelance work, taught myself how to make baby food from scratch, and learned every damn thing about parenting the hard way. Alone. I got a part-time babysitter, Anna, who was a literal angel disguised as a student, and slowly started pulling myself together. Meanwhile, Chloe kept climbing the social media ladder. She changed her whole aesthetic. Started calling herself Mama C. Her page turned into a curated shrine of raw motherhood. Posts about postpartum depression. Fake cozy night in reels. Hashtags like hashtag solo mama vibes and hashtag mom life unfiltered. All lies. She even started an advice series called Strong Mom Sundays, where she told other single moms how to stay grounded in their truth. I swear, if hypocrisy paid rent, she'd be in a goddamn penthouse. But she still never contacted me. Never asked how Max was. Never sent money. Not a single onesie. Her contribution to his life was limited to stock photos and inspirational quotes from Pinterest. And she had the audacity to profit off him. I wanted to blow it all up. But I knew if I went in blind, she'd twist it. Turn it into, "Matt's just bitter because I'm doing better." So I waited. I built receipts. Screenshots of every lie, every comment, every person she misled. I even got a friend of a friend to archive her deleted posts. Petty? Maybe. Necessary? Absolutely. The real kicker came when she released a merch line. I'm not joking. Onesies. With her fake-ass slogans on them. Stuff like, "My mom's a warrior," and "Raised by a queen." I nearly choked on my microwaved mac and cheese when I saw it. She was making money off pretending to be a mom to a kid she hadn't seen since birth. And the worst part? People worshipped her. Influencer moms are like cult leaders, and she knew exactly what buttons to push. Vulnerability, faux authenticity, fake crying on stories. She had it all down to a science. But here's the thing about cults. They only last until someone leaks the truth. And my patience? It was running out. The final straw wasn't even her. It was Max. He was almost 2 when he pointed at the TV, some random woman on a talk show, and asked, "Mama?" My heart damn near broke. Because he didn't know her. But he knew something was missing. I told him the truth. Age appropriate, obviously. I said, "Your mama had to go away. But I'm here. and I'll always be here. He nodded, like he understood, then went back to smearing yogurt on the couch. That night, I made a decision. If she wanted to build her brand on lies, fine. But I wasn't going to let my son grow up in a world where his mom was a myth and his dad was silent. She wanted clout. She was going to get attention, just not the kind she could filter. I started organizing everything. Not just the social media lies, but the legal stuff too. She'd never filed for custody, never paid support, never so much as texted me since that night at the hospital. I had everything documented. Timelines, witnesses, proof. And when I was ready, I waited for the perfect moment. Because Chloe, like all clout chasers, couldn't resist one thing: live content. She posted a teaser for a big surprise coming to her channel. Said she was flying back home to reunite with someone special. The comments were full of people guessing it was her baby boy. Some even wrote things like, "OMG, I hope the dad finally came around." She was coming back. Not to reconnect. Not to apologize. But to get views. So I made sure I was ready. And when she showed up, camera crew in tow, crocodile tears preloaded, I gave her an audience. But not the one she wanted. Because if she wanted her fans to see her truth, they were about to watch it unravel. Live. It was a Tuesday. I remember that because Max had daycare and I had finally earned myself a solid hour of silence. I was halfway through a cup of coffee that hadn't been reheated twice when I heard a knock at the door. Not just a knock with purpose. Loud, drawn out, and with that annoying rhythm people use when they know you're home. I opened the door, and there she was. Chloe, in full makeup, beachy waves, designer boots, and right behind her, two dudes with cameras and a girl holding a light reflector like she was prepping for a Netflix docuseries. My front porch had become a live set. "Matt," she said, all fake sunshine. "We thought we'd surprise you." I didn't even blink. I leaned against the doorframe, stared at the lens pointing at my face, and said, "Why? Did your ego not fit in the DMs?" She actually laughed, like we were doing a cute rom-com bit. "Come on, don't be like that," she said, already trying to angle herself for better lighting. I figured it was time Max met his mom again. For real. On camera. Let me repeat that. She came to meet her son for the first time since birth on camera. No heads up. No text. No, "Hey, I'm finally ready to parent." Just lights, camera, narcissism. I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. No way was I letting her film inside my home. The home she'd never once helped build, never once seen. The crew guy asked if we could do a quick entrance shot, and I told him the only shot they'd get was of me calling the cops if they didn't back up. Chloe's smile started to crack. "Matt," she hissed, "this is important to me. My audience is really invested in this journey." "Journey?" I laughed. "What journey? You ditched a newborn and vanished. This isn't a redemption arc, it's damage control." That's when she dropped it, the real reason she was here. "I'm launching a new campaign," she said, like that meant something to me. "A mom-focused wellness brand. And I need to show you know the growth. The reconnection." Oh, there it was. She didn't want Max. She wanted footage of Max. And before you ask, no, she didn't ask how he was. Not once. Didn't even say his name. That's when I snapped. Not screaming, not violent. Just cold. Calculated. I pulled out my phone, already recording, and said loud enough for her mic to catch it. "Chloe, are you admitting you abandoned your child at the hospital and now want to use him as content for a sponsored campaign?" Her jaw twitched. "Matt, turn that off." "Nope. You like being live, right? Let's be live. Tell your followers how you've contributed zero to Max's life, then showed up with a ring light like that makes you a mother." She tried to grab my phone. "Big mistake. Touch me or my property again," I said, backing away. "And I'll add assault to the list of things your brand doesn't need right now." The crew was visibly uncomfortable. One guy had already lowered his camera. The girl with the reflector muttered something and walked back to their car. That's when she really lost it. The fake tears turned on, like clockwork, and she wailed, "I'm just trying to reconnect with my son. Why are you doing this to me? To you?" I swear, I almost laughed in her face. "You're not reconnecting," I said. "You're performing. And Max isn't a fucking prop." Then I pulled out the flash drive. "See this?" I held it up for the camera. "This has every post, every lie, every time you pretended to be a single mom while I was up at 3 a.m. cleaning vomit off the ceiling. If you post anything with my son's name or face without my consent, this goes live. To your sponsors, to your followers, to every mama brand you've conned." She went dead silent. I could see the panic behind her lashes. Because for once, she didn't control the narrative. She couldn't edit this into a story that made her the hero. One of the camera guys cleared his throat and said, "We should go." She didn't even argue. She left without another word. Just turned around, strutted back to her car, and peeled off like a teenager who didn't get her way at prom. Max came home later that day from daycare, and and asked if he could have waffles. He didn't ask about her. Didn't know she'd stood on our porch with a microphone and a makeup team. And I didn't tell him. Because he deserves real love, not curated affection served with a hashtag. I wish that was the end. I really do. But clout addicts don't quit that easy. 3 days later, she posted a heartbreaking update video. Claimed she'd been denied access to her son. Said she was fighting a biased system. And that all she wanted was a chance to be his mom. She turned off comments, posted a link to her merch, and cried into the camera like it owed her something. That was it. I opened the vault. Screenshots, hospital records, dates, her deleted posts, the works. I compiled everything into one long, brutally detailed Reddit post under a throwaway account. Titled it, "My ex abandoned our baby and is now monetizing him online." It went nuclear. Thousands of upvotes, hundreds of comments. People who'd followed her came out of the woodwork to say they felt duped. Brands quietly pulled back their sponsorships. A parenting podcast that had just interviewed her deleted the episode within hours. She tried to call me. I didn't answer. She tried again. I blocked the number. And just like that, the audience she built off lies turned on her. She didn't get canceled. She got exposed. You ever see a liar trip over their own bullshit in real time? It's beautiful. Like watching a magician reveal all their secrets by accident. That's exactly what happened when I dropped the truth on Chloe's curated fantasy life, like a hammer. So what did I do? I went full Reddit mode. Long post. No filter. No fluff. Just cold, ugly, receipts-backed reality. The post started with her walking out of the hospital 2 days after giving birth. I explained how she left no note, never responded to a single message, and had zero contact for months. I added the date stamps from my calls. Screenshots of her ghosting. The baby photos she never asked to see. I didn't even need to embellish. Reality was already damning. Then came the juicy part, the rebranding. I walked readers through her entire online transformation into Mother Teresa of Instagram. How she used vague captions, stock photos, and fake crying videos to build an empire of fake empathy. I included side-by-sides, her claiming to be a struggling single mom while posting pictures from luxury hotels. I even shared one particularly tone-deaf story where she showed off a brand new handbag next to a caption about feeding her son with love. I guess she meant feeding him metaphorically, because the only thing that baby ever got from her was abandonment. It wasn't just about revenge. It was about protecting Max. I made it clear that my kid was not a brand. He wasn't a sympathy token. He didn't belong in sponsored posts or teary-eyed live streams for clicks. He was a toddler who thought spoons were hilarious and had an irrational hatred for blueberries. He deserved privacy. He deserved honesty. And most of all, he deserved better than her. The post exploded. Within 24 hours, it hit the front page. Parenting forums picked it up. A couple YouTubers even made reaction videos. People who'd followed her felt personally betrayed. It was like watching a cult fall apart in real time. Brands started pulling out fast. You know that merch line she launched with the Raised by a Queen onesies? Cancelled. Her deal with the organic baby food brand? Gone. The wellness podcast she was scheduled to appear on? Postponed indefinitely, which is PR speak for never again, sweetie. Her follower count started bleeding out. She lost over 60K in 2 days. I didn't track it obsessively or anything, but let's just say I checked hourly. And then came the DMs. Not from her, though she did try. First a wall of text about how I'd destroyed her mental health, then a screenshot of her therapist's out-of-office email. Like that proved something. I ignored it. The DMs that mattered were from other people. Strangers. Some were moms who had been following her and felt tricked. Some were dads who related. And a few were ex-friends of hers. The ones she ditched the second she got a taste of internet clout. They sent me more stuff. Voice notes. Screenshots. A treasure trove of behind-the-scenes nastiness. Her mocking her own fans. Bragging about getting free gear. Calling Max the brand booster. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. I added it to the pile. Quietly. Just in case she tried to spin the story again. Because she did try. A week later, she uploaded a half-assed apology video. Well, what she thought was an apology video. It was 14 minutes of sniffling, vague language, and classic, "I'm sorry if you were offended" energy. She blamed the pressures of social media, claimed she panicked after birth, and said she was working through deep-rooted trauma. Cue the violins. She also said she always loved her son, which was rich, considering she couldn't even spell his name right in the caption she posted. People didn't buy it. The comments section turned into a war zone. Half of them called her out for manipulating people. The other half begged her to log off and do the real work offline. It was the first time I'd seen her cornered. No filters, no echo chamber, no brand collabs waiting in the wings. It was delicious. Meanwhile, I was just living. Max and I were still doing bedtime stories and cereal dances in the kitchen. He'd started asking funny questions like, "Why is broccoli angry?" And I was too busy laughing to care what Chloe's follower count was doing. But I did one last thing. Not out of spite. Out of insurance. I got a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. A damn good one. She specialized in digital custody cases and had dealt with influencer parents before. We filed for full legal custody. Cited abandonment. Documented her entire online activity. The lawyer practically giggled reading the evidence. Said it was one of the clearest cases she'd seen. When Chloe got the paperwork, she tried calling again. I didn't answer. She emailed, said she wanted to talk this out privately. Said she was ready to be a mother now. I forwarded it to the lawyer and went back to building Legos with Max. We got the custody finalized within 3 months. Full parental rights, legally mine. Chloe didn't even show up to the last hearing. Probably because the court didn't allow ring lights and retakes. She vanished again after that. Deleted half her content. Went private. Tried to pivot to spiritual healing or some other nonsense. I didn't keep tabs. The internet had moved on. And so had I. Max doesn't know any of this yet. He knows his dad makes weird pancakes shaped like dinosaurs and always lets him win at hide-and-seek badly. He knows bedtime means books, not cameras. Hugs, not hashtags. And honestly, that's all I ever wanted. Chloe's chapter is over, but the mess she made taught me everything I needed to know. You don't earn the title of parent with a ring light and a caption. You show up. You stay. Someday, when Max is older, I'll tell him the whole truth, not out of spite, but because he deserves it. The full story. No filters. No edits. Just real.